Moira composition here, all guns blazing as they move forward into the first fight, and it's Stan1 who immediately takes down OG, using his hammer to whack him into the pit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough matchup, right?
But he's forced out of the fight. Here's Myeonbong pushing down his Amp Matrix into the floor to back the rest off. OG just frozen up for a moment. He's off the side again! That's the second time that OG is into the drink as Faith collects another kill with a boot, this time not an environmental. Onto Slime, it's just not working for Florida. And they've
Not letting Florida Mayhem really have their way here playing the dive competition.
And they're also being so proactive. Look at that Blizzard in first before BQB could come back with his EMP in the fight. And OG once more falls. This time he knocks someone else off the side. I'm 37 going. If someone had a bingo card for eliminations in this match, everyone would be eating breadsticks. But at the point, and Yaki with a crucial little teleport to the back. Oh, that's beautiful. Taking down I'm 37 and Myeonbong. There we go. That's a response.
He was thinking about the teabag, just for like a second, the tactical crowd.
Alive somewhat, but OG, he's got an impossible task here. A Primal Rage into an Amp Matrix, and 2 players dead already. Thankfully, Slime there with the boot, that's good for them. But the Boston Uprising have all the control over this map. OG comes back in, but he's just gonna get shredded. The turret is the one that gets the final elimination there, but a huge amount of damage from Myeonbong. Overall, Florida, they look like they're dropping, but the Boston Uprising are not getting the cleanest engagement.
No, you have to cap this point, and they finally do. 95% and taking here the Florida Mayhem, trying to stay alive for one last engagement. BQB goes out with the EMP! That's huge! And Yaki!
Valentine! The turret is the MVP of this fight. Not only did it take down OG, but it gets both of the DPS players for the Florida Mayhem with both of their ultimates online. The overtime wick is burning, as the legends have said before, and Boston Uprising have everybody alive. Just for good measure, Valentine, not a chance. 2 more kills with the turret. He's AFK. He could apply a script in terms of how he's playing right now. He's not using his gun. That's incredible scenes.
We need to go back to the bingo card here, right? Like if the
Initiate on Jonathan.
I mean, Junkrat, I think, is the go-to here. They're already going in with the Reaper, pushing in here. They actually got point control here. So now if you're the Boston Uprising, you're struggling. Slime picks off Valentine finally. And I mean, the Boston Uprising, they're crumbling here, yeah. That was a great engagement by the Florida Mayhem. They're able to surround the Boston Uprising, aggressing both across the points, but also above them, dropping down, right? Yaki getting the effectiveness of the Reaper to help you out with the turret. And the Florida Mayhem, they just keep pushing. They're smelling blood in the waters. Stan1 gets a nice charge on the Slime as well. Okay, you find 2 picks. Ooh. How did tables turn?
Yeah, what a punish for the overextension from the Florida Mayhem. Something they were doing a little bit yesterday when it came to Ilios. There's a shatter, lands down on Gangnam Jin. I'm not sure he even realized he was going to catch the Moira for the Florida Mayhem, but he'll take those, as you say. And BQB has yet to be able to use one of these EMPs properly.
Tough, right? Because the Florida Mayhem, they have to force the Boston Uprising down. Great EMP comes in. Oh, and hits 3 actually. And the armor is blocking all the damage. Yaki pulls out the Death Blossom as well with the Slime Sound Barrier. And they get 2 picks here, but can they keep this going, or are Boston Uprising going to turn this once more?
Well, without the Reaper and without the Reinhardt, I think that would be a very tall task. Punk also drops in the midst of that. Yaki using his Wraith form to avoid the self-destruct. No chance of turning this around, and the Florida Mayhem, they're going to be able to cap it up. Make sure you deal with that Valentine turret. Good work, Yaki. That thing has done...
Tank on the Reaper as well.
The Florida Mayhem, they're initiating immediately too. Gangnam Jin with the Coalescence, burning them down. Stand1 and Valentine, they fall so early on, and this has been a complete role reversal. The Florida Mayhem and the Boston Uprising, whoever's in the driver's seat, whoever is being proactive, that seems to be the team that's getting value in these team fights. This round could not have been more different to the previous. To Punk, see if you can isolate Stan1 now that he doesn't have the defense matrix available. But instead, it's OG who ends up falling. They may have played their hand just a little too early there, Florida, without the setup required. And this fight, even though Boston, or rather because Boston have taken the point, they now have much better positions for the cleanup.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. I get the idea of what the Florida Mayhem are trying to do, right? They want to play on the point, they can utilize the pillar for...
Disastrous for Florida Mayhem. Unless they can wait for BK to get back in, but Stan1 is not going to give them the time, nor the place. He lays down the shatter, and that is going to be it. 65% for Boston. See Valentine's turret off from the angle there. And 37 getting pressured really hard. There's the EMP. That stops the Batiste ultimate, or the Batiste immortality field rather, from having too much value. But Punk has hit a ridiculous ult in the middle of that. The self-destruct used to peel there. All of Boston anticipating the fight before it had even happened. And this just looks disastrous for Florida. Once again, the first team fight ends up deciding the whole round based on that momentum, based on Boston being able to be the proactive team, or even like in this final team fight. Incredible with the reactions, and it's all just cleanup from this way out. Perhaps the desk knew better, or perhaps some portions of the desk knew better, because it's Boston who are taking the first map.
Let's not talk about it.
These ultimates and then going fast when they have an advantage.
Oh, there it is. Now, you do normally expect the nano boost to go into OG, but instead, he's left out to dry, and all of the pressure is put on Yaki. They put all their eggs in one basket, and unfortunately, that is just not going to work. Perhaps a bit of a mistake there from Gangnam Jin. When everybody is diving in all on top of each other, it can be a little difficult to land the correct nano target.
Can't wrap like him, but it would have been an epic Reinhardt play there if you're going to get some ultimate charge in the choke point here on King's Row. Valentine gets the pick onto OG, and they're going to take Punk out of his mech right there. So the Florida, they're still holding this choke point, but they've invested 6 ultimates here throughout a couple of minutes. They get the job done, it seems like, but it's been a tough slobber knocker of a fight in this choke point right here.
That forces the rest of Florida back, but there could be a re-engage here. OG going really deep, whip shot up in the air, stunned as well, almost died, but Gargoyle comes in with that self-destruct, and it pops Myeonbong's immortality field and finds Valentine as well. Really nice re-engage from Florida, without all eyes on BQB as he hangs around up top. He has that EMP, it's popped, 3 players found. I'm 37 though, always in the right position, at the right time with that Deadeye. Not only does it zone, but it finds Gangnam Jin, and Valentine's turret wasn't satisfied, wasn't satiated with what it got on Nepal. It wants more, it must feast.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Hacks, they just haven't quite been there. That's a big Bionade and a hack onto Valentine, but it's Punk who just throws the perfect self-destruct into the backline. And once again, these ultimates used to zone away the Florida Mayhem, like I'm 37's Deadeyes and Punk's self-destructs, they've been perfectly timed.
For quite some time here, but Boston Uprising, they are so comfortable in this area.
There's cream all over the objective. What are you supposed to do against that? It's everywhere. And the Boston Uprising, they're just going to be able to roll this one through, surely. Slime goes down, and OG's got a nano boost, but nobody can get to the objective. It's a classic Florida Mayhem C9. This goes back to what they were trying to play when Rush was meta at the beginning of the year. And as Yaki pushes in, that's an early immortality field pop for both teams, but the Florida Mayhem are on the wrong side of this. So much damage coming through, especially from that turret, which Valentine has done such a great job of setting.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just an absolute brawl inside the hotel here. BKB actually finds a pick. Okay, Amplification Matrix comes down, but Gangnam Jin gets Valentine. It's a bit of a trade-off here. What a massive brawl inside this hotel area. Any team with
the closer Myeonbong is going to be to having it back. There was a shatter attempt that didn't quite work, and here's Gargoyle, there it is, that's the combo. Gargoyle lifts him up, and BQB shuts him down. That's the Florida Mayhem going to be able to take point A.
Absolutely, great point A attack by them. Getting out on the Boston Uprising positioning. Because, again, if you rethink that fight, right, the Florida Mayhem...
But it's all going to get snarled up in the street space now.
Unless...
Wait, how did Stan 1 end up in a...
Unless...
Is he gone... Is he looking for Don Quixote? What's he doing out there? What?
That's a library.
George R. R. Martin just released another one? What's happening? What's he looking for? To overextend himself slightly. One of the big advantages of this composition is that you have massive ults to be able to work with. Nice flash to take I'm37 out of his Deadeye, and it's the Gravitic Flux into the Blizzard. A time-honored combo. Very similar to the Flux into the Deadeye as well, that just locks it down. And the slower you are with this comp, the more you can rely on those.
Will we see a boop or two here, set himself up for success? Not quite. Maywall comes out from Yaki as well, playing around this point right here. OG goes down to stand 1, and now Boston Uprising looks to push the pace.
Yeah, and Matrix, but it's not going to quite work. There it is, the Gravitic Flux, but the Blizzard gets eaten. What a play by Punk. He was doing it all yesterday as well. That's the 3rd in a couple of days as he just gobbles up that snowball, but it might have been too little, too late, as the Florida Mayhem, with their massive positional advantage, are still going to be able to win the team fight and roll it through. I mean, that peels a little bit, but Stan 1, he's taken so much damage. And there's the immortality field already destroyed. Slime doing a good job of taking that down from distance. And Stan 1, the Reinhardt, the pillar that was keeping the Boston Uprising alive, he's fallen. But OG, he drops as well. Are they really going to be able to turn this?
Oh, it's an even fight right now. The Boston Uprising, they have to focus on touching this point so they don't C9. But it's a bit of a battle behind the statue. No one touches. That's... Oh, is that a C9? I don't think that can be classified. Engage, take your time. But BQB gets caught. Immortality Field comes down.
Yeah, Immortality Field down and BQB as well, hitting the spawn queue. It looked like a bit of a dangerous place. Oh, stand one! He's been caught out completely there, not on the same page as the rest of his team. Stand one, great defense matrix as well from Punk, gobbles it all up. And Valentine's Blizzard, that's the key, as I'm37 manages to find that first pick as a result of it. The Boston Uprising, they look like they're doing it here, Jonathan.
Absolutely, the From AM doesn't get any value from their ultimates. Faith drops the sound barrier just as the cherry on top to secure the draw on King's Row. Wow, we might be
so far back because he's able to still do max damage from that long range. And I'm37 just gets crunched. The Boston Uprising have so much distance to try to cover if they want to try and fight the Florida Mayhem. And as they...
Quick teleporter up, Punk is going to apply some pressure onto the enemy backline here of Florida Mayhem. Gorgol goes down, and now we actually have a man advantage for the Boston Uprising. But it's all about slowing the Boston Uprising down. That's a huge pulse bomb! Look at the health of Boston Uprising! It's an easy pick'ems! Like, the cleanup is there. Bob's your uncle. And he gets 2 picks. What a coincidence!
Albeit a 5-map loss to the Toronto Defiant was just their ability to play a range of different styles. And here, Gargoyle under a lot of pressure, but the trance is just going to keep him alive. And Boston lose too many people trying to pivot around the map.
Worth?
Is it worth it? And now they're going for something very different. Creative use of the teleporter there from I'm37. Nets them a kill, the pin onto Gargoyle. Gargoyle's ankle's broken in the midst of that, and Slime died as he was trying to get the resurrect up. Bob, the murderous uncle, back on the battlefield again, just putting that pressure, stopping him advancing. But this does look like the first chance of success for Boston.
Pulse bomb, Yaki waiting in the wings. BQB finds a pick on the face. Gangnam Jin as well, carrying his weight. Pulse bomb comes out. Tons of damage on the stand one. Can't really find the fix. BQB cleans up as well. There goes Valentine. And the Florida Mayhem, they hold miraculously. Great accretion onto Myeonbong. And the Boston Uprising, you got 15 seconds to go. You got to regroup. Stand one. What are you doing? Get out of there.
How did that happen? What a play by Yaki, and then also Gargoyle. His team are not feeling the effects of that at all. 37, he drops, he dies. Thankfully, the rest of the Boston Uprising are getting work done as Myeonbong takes matters into his own hands, starts to suck the players at the front line and suck them dry of their life force. The Florida Mayhem, they're desperately trying to defend, but this will be checkpoint A to Boston.
All right, so I said heal, but does so much damage to the Boston Uprising playing this slower comp. Teleporter comes out. You're just looking to speed here. Slime goes down. Gangnam goes down. Perfect engagement by the Boston Uprising with that teleporter.
I love this. This is giving me shades of the Dallas Fuel when they were playing in the main melee, honestly. The incredibly creative, dynamic teleporter use coming out from I'm37 here.
It's going to be tough for Gangnam to position. He's on this pillar in the middle right here, right? But the teleporter comes out, and they're actually pushing the backline here on the low ground. Valentine finds a pick onto BKB. Punk eats the pulse bomb from Yaki. And now, the Boston Uprising, they are applying the pressure. Florida Mayhem have to find something going for themselves.
Crucial. You can't just rely on the teleporter. Stand one, he nearly died in the midst of all of this. Look at this sneaky positioning. The problem with Valentine being there is that the rest of his team are dying. And so, is he really going to be able to turn this fight around? There's no chance.
Oh my goodness!
That's a terrible
Holy moly! Okay. Word, I guess? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Push the tempo. But Florida Mayhem, they're going to pop the Valkyrie right away. Valkyrie as well being used here. And now the Florida Mayhem, they're just looking to clean up. Faith goes down, M37 goes down. Self-destruct as a last-ditch effort from Punk. He actually finds BQB, but it's really all about the Florida Mayhem at this point. Bob doing tons of work on the point as well. Slime resurrects BQB, and the Florida Mayhem looking quite solid playing this Zenyatta composition. Maybe a recipe for success in the rest of the series.
Yeah,
well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
Good.
I mean, there's more Junkertown to go, but
there's Boston Uprising with one of these close holds. Wow, they are instantly onto BQB with another one of those teleports as Stan1 takes the the Discord orb, but you might as well call it a death orb because he looks like he's going to drop at any moment. Nevertheless, at this point for Boston with their Reinhardt comp, it's just about ticking time off. They want to take an extra team fight as soon as you come out of the gates, and they should be able to get set back up.
Yes, they should definitely be able to. And the Florida Mayhem, now they're actually the ones.
OG is going to have this minefield, gets stunned, Rise as he tries to get a slam on, and he's actually going to go down to Valentine. Now that is big problems for the Florida Mayhem. probably have to disengage from this fight now. Bob's going to go down as well. You need to build these ultimates. Yaki needs to find a pick with these pulse bomb. What else do you really have going for you when I'm 37 shuts down BQB?
That is gorgeous. The double headshot there and another one.
Oh!
You don't try and res him. What a wasted cooldown, because I'm 37's hitting headshots like none other. That is incredible what this McCree has been able to pull out. Yaki and BQB, the DPS monsters. It doesn't end up paying off. And Bob, oh Bob, he's so sad at the back there, just taking a sightseeing trip. Old Uncle Bob. Boston Uprising, though, they are losing a couple of players here. They need to keep Stand 1 alive. It's overtime. It's super close, but Gangnam Jin has got such a good angle over at the side. As long as he can stay alive from this turret, Stand 1 has no chances of success. And BQB comes back in the fight, off the respawn, picks up 2, and the Florida Mayhem in similar fashion. Here we go with a rally engage. Just pushing deep. There it is. Yaki utilizes the pulse bomb, trades it for Immortality Field. And this is just a mess of a team fight happening on the low ground. But it looks like the rally is going to give them enough of an advantage to stay in this. Having said that, Jonathan, look at the position of the payload. It is so advanced. His Torbjorn ultimate. Is Gargoyle going to be able to push this one in? Surely not. I'm 37. He comes out with a huge play. Yaki and Slime drop to the spawn queue. Yaki found one posthumously, though, and the rest of the Boston Uprising, they're dropping. The legs are doing it. The Soldier 76, their Helix rocket takes down Stan 1. Surely Myunbong doesn't clutch this. He's got to die, and he does. The Soldier 76 collected all of the clean B. How does he get value out of this? Stunned up. Bit of a fan the hammer possibly there, but he turns around and deals with I'm 37. He's just bait on the end of a string at the moment, and the Boston Uprising are kind of falling for it.
Here goes.
Managed to pivot though and take down both the tanks. Here's the tack visor, and he runs back to spawn.
The Florida Mayhem, you can see Yaki flanking in the back as well. They have the minefield. It's tough here because the Florida Mayhem, they have to play so close. Gangnam Jin, Slime, they both get picked because they're playing on this high ground. But the Boston Uprising, they're just going to speed on top of you.
Oh, yep, unfortunately, no self-destruct to be able to get back into the mech. Are they able to punish Stan 1 for getting a little aggressive there? Doesn't look like it. Yaki does take down Valentine, though. There's a hope and a dream left, and it's on the backs of the DPS players for the Florida Mayhem. Yaki would have to come out with some magic, and it is. He does a lot of damage to Faith, and the roll-through ends up getting the kill. A pulse bomb as well. Can he find the D-mech? The Florida Mayhem maybe have a slightest of spawn advantages right now, but the further they push the payload, the harder it is for them to play on it. And Gargoyle,
he doesn't die.
Touches. I'm 37 has got to die. He does in the end, and Florida are keeping it alive. I was expecting a Deadeye from I'm 37 through the Amp Matrix as well, but it isn't there. OG falls though. Stan 1, he still has that shatter. Don't know what he's saving it for. Slimy, he just drops the Brigida shield, and Stan 1 drops the shatter. That's gonna send the Florida Mayhem packing.
Being in the right position at the right time, not something that he's usually excelled at in his career, and he's going down once more. You need to build up this Nautilus. BQB finds another pick onto Stand 1 to trade it out, but you've lost your main tank. How are you going to contest this point?
It's another flash from I'm 37 as well. Huge hero moment from Yaki there as he takes down the offender. I'm 37 hits the dust. Faith dies as well. This is winnable for the Florida Mayhem. Slime is doing work at the back. He doesn't even have the nano boost applied. He doesn't have the rally. How did that go? About Punk, he really wants to take him out of mech first, but Gargoyle's going to initiate. There goes the bomb up and over the top. Valentine does fall, separated from the rest of his team there, unable to get the safety of the Immortality Field. Slime out on a bit of an island, but Gangnam Jin still has that nano boost. It's applied to OG in the end. There goes the EMP, and this is where the Boston Uprising are in trouble. All of this damage coming through, and they can't use any of their abilities to try and help him out. Faith as well popping the rally, but it's all for naught. Separated.
That's the point. I mean, they don't even contest.
It was a stun onto Gargoyle there, who went to go for the contest. I'm not sure whether that was another flash from I'm 37. They already used that Bionade as well, so they didn't have that as a follow-up at all. It feels like the timing is just off a little bit, but that's a great way of being able to secure an advantage. The pick onto Myunbong as Florida Mayhem dive back in, gives them an opening, and the rest of the Boston Uprising look like they're soon to fall. Yaki giving the business there, just for a moment.
But you need to find these picks if you're Boston Uprising. Florida Mayhem on the re-engage, Primal Rage comes out, self-destruct secures a pick onto Stand 1, and the Boston Uprising, they're the ones in shambles now when Florida Mayhem gets the choice to re-engage on top of them.
Very nicely played. Slime holding on to his rally as well as the rest of the Florida Mayhem clean house. And that's not bad. A minute and a half left. And suddenly it feels like the Florida Mayhem have managed to find their footing. Both sides as Valentine lies sleeping, napping on the job. But Stan1 continues to make space. And Punk, he takes down BQB. That EMP is off the table. Great pulse bomb, but it's not going to make any difference. The Immortality field was there, and the rest of the team, they're surging forwards off the back of the space that's been created. BQB's EMPs, they just haven't been as effective as they would have wanted to be. He'll desperately try to come back in with another one, and they do have a nano to maybe apply onto OG, but BQB falls as a result of it.
OG nano-boosted. Molten Core comes out from Valentine as well. Stand1, lays down the shatter, doesn't hit anyone. OG is dead once more, and the Boston Uprising, they're just surrounding this point. They're the ones applying the pressure. Yonbong's going to get an amplification matrix as well in the Florida Mayhem. They're dying like flies, one after one, and the Mosquito is defeated. Here and try to win this map as well.
Certainly would appear so. Yaki stunned up again. This is I'm37 coming in with the CC. The flashbangs have just been so important. It might not be him in the kill feed, but it's him setting up all of these early initiations. And there's Valentine's turret just continuing to do work on and off angle.
This choke, and this is a good rotation from the Florida Mayhem actually. You can utilize this Maywall, comes down, good immortality field on Yonbong here as well, making sure to keep his members alive, but the Florida Mayhem, they're just too good applying this pressure. Stand1 goes down, Faith goes down. And from here on out, this should be Florida Mayhem's fight. Unless I'm 37 once more.
Get anything? No, neither does VQB. But the Florida Mayhem, they're forced to invest ultimates here out. Self-destruct comes out from Punk. Doesn't really secure anything, but positioning on the point. Yaki drops the Blizzard as well. And now, the Florida Mayhem, they look to accelerate the tempo on this fight. They look to be the ones securing point A. But the most crucial thing being here, you have to use the Blizzard. You had to use the Deadeye and an amplification matrix. So you have 3 ultimates.
They have a sound barrier, or they're going to look to go up their tempo here. Amplification matrix comes up from Gangnam Jin. Big shatter from Stand1. Locks down 2, but Gangnam Jin as well, equalizing things with DQB.
That was a really nice play from the Boston Uprising. Again, the coordination with all of these CC abilities is just excellent from them. It's so much above and beyond what we've seen from this organization, honestly, in the past. If you're looking at Boston...
Good Maywall from Yaki as well, looking away. I'm 37. Doesn't really secure any fights whatsoever. And this is Florida Mayhem now. They're taking the positioning on the point. This is great ultimate usage just to find a positional advantage here against Boston.
That ult economy does seem to be excellent. Not just the economy, but how they actually utilize them. I'm37 though with another hero play. Finds a cross-map headshot. As Valentine finds another. Both DPS players for the Boston Uprising taking out their counterparts in a desperate attempt to hang on. Punk gets back into his mech and Stand1 has a shatter. Faith with a couple of kills as well, just cleaning up house. And that was it. The hero plays came from Valentine and I'm37 there to be able to take down BQB and Yaki. And there's nothing that Florida could do. Necessarily spot a target as the rest of Florida, they kite it out. And Gangnam Jin's amp matrix gets walled off as well. He eats the Blizzard. What an incredible play. He's been so good for that all day long and yesterday. What a beast. You can see now why he's the only player that's coming in from Australia, but also the player that's come in to replace Gibulchi now recently. He was being subbed out fairly consistent. Gargoyle, both Gargoyle and Slime go for an attempt. OG lays down a shadow, doesn't really catch too much. Gargoyle self-destruct, can it find anybody? Punk, he ends up getting demeched as a result. And Valentine, he's in the middle of it, ends up getting flashbanged as he comes out of his cryo heal. I'm37 and that's Stand1 actually, sorry, and OG collapsing in a pile on the point. Have Florida Mayhem actually done this? The momentum just incredible for them as BQB picks people off left, right, and center. What is that from the Florida Mayhem? Why was that not an option earlier?
Trying to get a final touch onto this point, and he's going to be able to do that. But who's going to win this fight for Florida Mayhem? Gangnam Jin has an amplification matrix. Is that going to be it?
Oh, and there's the boop.
Oh,
there's
what a boop.
He denies Gar. Choke point though, and it's a very defensive wall by Yaki. Punk taking a bit of damage. Gargoyle frozen up. It's again so much damage onto OG. He is the first player to fall once more. The main tank from the Florida Mayhem, a new acquisition for this season, but the integration has been painful at this point. And Boston Uprising, with 20 seconds left, they didn't even need their entire time bank. They're storming ahead, taking that first tick and sweeping the Boston Uprising. They sweep the Florida Mayhem. They get them out of there. It's a 3-0, including a draw. And wow.